This is Sampurnam's Inner Healing Collective. We are a holistic clinic based in Delhi, working to create a balance between modern evidence based medicine and ancient wisdom. At Sampurnam, our doctors and healers address the foundational elements of your health to help you awaken to your highest potential, heal your body, mind, and soul, and transform your life. The Inner Healing Collective is a 10-week online journey designed to help you reconnect with yourself, find balance, and evoke inner strength. Today, in week 6, we'll be exploring Chakra Meditation with Dr. Vijay Mohan Kohli. Dr. Kohli is an advocate for integrating ancient Indian healing systems with modern medical science. With 45 plus years of experience in adult cardiac surgery and 10,000 plus successful heart operations, Dr. Kohli is a senior cardiac surgeon and a functional medicine expert specializing in the reversal of chronic conditions such as thyroid issues, gut issues, diabetes, hypertension, and autoimmune conditions. Dr. Kohli has played an instrumental role in setting up premier cardiac centers across India, including the prestigious Escorts Heart Institute and cardiac centers in Batra Hospital and Action Balaji Hospital in New Delhi, and the Hero DMC Heart Institute in Ludhiana, to name a few. He was a part of the team behind the first open heart surgery at KGMC Lucknow way back in 1981. Dr. Kohli is also trained in Ayurveda, naturopathy, energy medicine, and yoga. Alongside his medical and integrative work, Dr. Kohli is deeply engaged with spirituality, which informs his understanding of healing as a process that involves not only the physical body, but also the mind and inner awareness. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Kohli. Over to you, sir.
Namaste, everybody, and very good morning. Because where I'm based is morning here in the US. And first, I must thank Dr. Mankul for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and also Nitya for coordinating it so beautifully well. So we go on to Chakra Meditation now. I'm sure all of you have heard of this term. It's mystic, of course, and a little mysterious as well. But before we actually go into that, I would just like to mention a little bit about what we understand by meditation, because the various people and different people have given various definitions of that. Basically, it is a process where you train yourself, you train your mind for greater awareness and focus, and of course, relaxation. Now, this in turn reduces stress, and when stress is reduced, then this has a very great benefit on practically all the diseases which we may be suffering from. Now, chakra meditation involves all of these. In addition, it has a spiritual component, and also it is conducive to healing you from inside, because chakras are a part of the astral body, which has already been discussed earlier by Dr. Mankul. Now, when we go further, I also speak in terms of spiritual meditation, where your consciousness goes right up to its source, to the Paramatma. So these are the various ways of meditation. I feel spiritual meditation is the highest form of meditation because it has all the components inherent in it. Now, how did we come into being? Now, we came through what is known as Pran Shakti in yoga. You might have heard of the word pranas in yoga. Now, these stem from what is known as you have heard of the Supreme Being, which is labeled as Paramatma by various names. Now, the actual creation took place through a vibration. The vibration comprises of sound and light. And various names have been given to this vibration. One of them is Om, which I've written as AUM. I'll explain this later. The other terms are Shabad, Amen, as in Christianity, Ameen, as in Islam, etc. There are many more names to this. So the whole thing starts off like this, and this is followed by Pran Shakti, which is an offshoot of this cosmic vibration. And the picture which you see on the left This denotes that when Krishna is breathing into the flute or playing the flute, the holes which you see in the flute are supposed to symbolize the various chakras. So as this pran shakti comes into us from the top, it comes from the, the primal cell in the medulla oblongata and then goes down into right to the base of the spine. So this is how it actually comes into being. So these chakras are formed this way when the pran shakti enters from the top. They start dividing into a number of energy centers which are known as chakras. Now every chakra, depending on where it is located, has a relationship to the organs in those areas. Also to the endocrine glands which are in relation with them. And also to our memories, past memories, memories of earlier births, etc. And they are, of course, energy centers, of course. So they have a benefit, both a spiritual benefit as well as benefit to our physical as well as our astral bodies. Now, the various chakras, I would like you to make a note, to try to form a mental image of this in your mind. The topmost is known as the Sahasrara chakra, and the color is purple actually. We also call it violet. Then you have the Agya chakra, which is here in the center of the forehead. Then the throat chakra, which is in the throat, but these are all behind in the spine. Then you have the green one, which is the heart chakra or the Sahasrara or the Anahat chakra. This is the Manipur chakra, which is in relation to the umbilicus, behind the umbilicus, the Swadhisthana chakra, and the root chakra or the Muladhara chakra. So these are the various chakras which are there. Try to form an image of this in your mind because that will help you. And the fairly detailed document which has been shared with you, you can of course refer to that later whenever you wish to. Now moving further. Now, so chakras are basically junctional points where energy, matter and consciousness all come together in a very high concentration. As I mentioned, they're related to the five elements, our sensations, as well as to an endocrine gland, which control the various functioning of the body, also to various emotions in our body. They're also related to certain sensations. I'll of course mention all this in more detail later. I'm sorry about that. Now the flow of energy, which starts, I think I'll just skip this because this may not be very relevant to you. So when we talk of chakra meditation, what we're trying to achieve is a balance in the energy flow, a balance in the functioning of all our organs and systems. As you know that everything is interconnected. So this helps to achieve that. It gives us a sense of well-being, calmness. And when you meditate on a particular chakra, then the diseases related to that particular chakra get alleviated. But you must remember that chakra meditation, though very powerful, is not a substitute for whatever else you may be advised by your doctors and all that. So this has to be an add-on, but an extremely powerful add-on. When you meditate, I think you would experience all that. Now there are certain prerequisites of doing chakra meditation. They're very simple ones. One, that you must sit in a place which is very quiet. Number two, sit in a comfortable posture. The ideal posture described is known as Gyan Mudra, which is like this. I'll show you a picture of that also. If you're used to yoga, then you would understand that. If not, you can sit in any comfortable position you like. You must keep your eyes open. Try to have a smile on your face. And as I mentioned, hands in Gyan Mudra. And ideally, if it is part of your yoga practice, it should be done after we have done the warming up, the asanas, the pranayams, and finally, chakra meditation. The reason being that when you do the other things like asanas and pranayam, they set you up into a relaxed phase, which further helps you, potentiates the action of these chakras and the effect of these chakras, chakra meditation. So this is Gyan Mudra. As you see that the tip of the index finger is attached, is connected to the thumb. The other three fingers are straight. This is the typical mudra in which you should be sitting when you're doing chakra meditation. With the very first chakra, we are starting from below. The first chakra from below is the Muladhara or the root chakra. So if you have made a mental image of the earlier slide I showed you, remember this is at the base of the spine. This has four petals, as you can see here, and it has a red color. The four petals indicate Man, Buddhi, Chit, and Ahankar. I won't discuss that in detail because that may be too much for this presentation. And this chakra, by virtue of the fact that it is at the bottom of the spine, it is related to the earth element. You recollect that I mentioned that all of these chakras have a relationship with some element or the other of nature. So this is related to the earth element. And as you know, if you visualize, the earth element is related to solidity, like firmness. It's related to balance, and it is related to strength. Therefore, this particular chakra uh, affects all the solid structures in the body. For example, the bones, the teeth, hair, skin, the bone marrow. So all the solid structures like muscles and tendons are all controlled by this particular chakra. So when the chakra is in balance, all of these organs are functioning well, and also you have a sense of security in yourself, you are balanced, and also you are strong mentally. Now, whenever you have any of these problems, for example, if the bone is not functioning well, you could have osteopenia, osteoporosis, rickets. If the skin, you could have skin diseases, you could have diseases in the teeth, you could have disease in your excretory system. So if you have any of these problems, like you have a lot of fear in you, because if it is very unbalanced, then you might develop an extreme sense of fear. So if you have any of these issues, then if you meditate on this particular chakra, then you're going to gain benefit out of those things. And the mantra for this is Lam. We'll do this later so you'll understand it better. The second chakra from below is the Swadhisthana chakra. Now this chakra has has an orange color and it has six petals. The six petals, as you can see here, they denote our six negative tendencies, which in Sanskrit we call Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, and Matsarya. So when this chakra is in balance, then these are also balanced. This chakra is related to the water element. So having been related to the water element, it affects all those systems in our body which have fluids in them. For example, blood, lymph, urine, semen, digestive juices, the cerebrospinal fluid. So all of these are regulated by this particular chakra. And you can well imagine when water flows, if you think intuitively, when water flows very smoothly, it gives you a very nice sensation and feeling. But if the same thing converts into a flood, then everything gets destroyed. Similarly, if the chakra is in balance, all our fluids are flowing as they ought to. But if it is imbalanced, then that leads to disease in all of those things. Now, this is therefore also related to our reproductive system, the uterus, ovaries, bladder, prostate. Now, if this is imbalanced, then not only do you have a lot of negative tendencies in you, you become tamasic. You might develop a lot of lust, things like that. Also, you could develop uterine fibroids, you could develop uterine cancers, ovarian cysts, ovarian cancers, prostatic enlargement, cancer of the prostate, etc. So if any of these things are troubling you, if you meditate on this particular chakra, then you're going to gain benefit out of that. And the mantra for this is VAM. I hope so far we are clear. Now, the third chakra from below is the Manipur chakra. The Manipur chakra is behind your umbilicus in the spine. This has 10 petals, as you can see, and it is yellow in color. Now, the 10 petals signify our 10 prans. You would have heard of the term prans in yoga. Now, 5 of them are the main prans, and 5 are the subsidiary prans, you could say. Now, the main prans are main one, which is very important as far as this particular chakra is concerned, is known as the Saman pran, which is related to digestion. The others are pran, udan, saman, vyan, etc. Now, the uprans, one of them, you'll be surprised to know, comes into action after death. That is known as Dhananjaya pran. Now, this is related to the preservation of the body in yogis. Like you would have heard of, when yogis die, then their bodies still remain preserved for quite some time. And in others who are not yogis, this is related to decomposition. It is also related to the movement of the heart valves. The main prans, of which Saman pran is the most important, is related to digestion. Now, you need to understand that when we talk of digestion in Ayurveda and yoga, then we are talking of not only what we are eating or drinking, also whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we think. Everything has got to be properly digested, absorbed, and assimilated. If that does not happen, then a lot of waste gets accumulated, which is called ama in Ayurveda, and it is synonymous with inflammation, which is the root cause of most diseases. So this particular chakra is related to the functioning of the stomach, the liver, pancreas, also to the spleen, and to a sense of sight. So when it is in balance, then all of these function well. And we also have a lot of insight in us and a lot of energy in us. But when this chakra is imbalanced, then these become, our Rajasic tendencies get aggravated. For example, a lot of anger, and you start getting diseases in the organs, which I've already mentioned to you. So if you have any of these problems, if you are not very energetic, then if you meditate on this chakra, then you will gain benefit from this. The mantra for this chakra is Ram. So we move further, coming to the Anhat chakra or the heart chakra, which is behind the heart. Now, when we talk of the heart, actually we are talking about the Sanskrit term Hridaya, not really the anatomical heart, because Hridaya comprises a lot of other things. This chakra has 12 petals. It is green in color. The 12 petals indicate our 12 positive feelings. Like love is the most important. Love, kindness, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, clarity, purity. It's related to the functioning of the heart, the functioning of the lungs, and also to the functioning of the immune system in the body. So therefore, when the chakra is in balance, then we have a lot of positivity in us. We also have a heart functions well, the lungs function well, and we are generally free from repeated infections and all that. But if you have things like loneliness, depression, if you have heart disease, if you have lung problems like pneumonias, bronchitis, or if you have repeated infections, then if you meditate on this chakra, then you will get benefit from that. The mantra for this chakra is Yam. Now, notice that in all of these mantras, the M part has been prolonged. That is done with a particular intention and purpose. Because when you prolong that, then you're stimulating your vagus nerve. And when you stimulate the vagus nerve, then that helps in relaxation. It stimulates your parasympathetic system as well. So now we move further, coming to the Vishuddhi chakra, which is in the throat, behind, in the spine. This is light blue in color. It has 16 petals. The 16 petals indicate infinite potentialities. Now, this particular chakra is related to the Akash Tattva, or the space element. Now, being related to the space element, this is the first chakra to have been, space has been the first element to have been created, and it is related to a sense of sound, therefore to the sense of hearing and speaking. Now, by virtue of it being related, being present in the throat, it regulates the function of the thyroid gland, the parathyroid, to the tongue, the oral cavity, and the cervical spine in general. So when this chakra is in balance, then all of these function well. And also because it is related to the space element, it is also related to truths. And by virtue of being related to truths, it gets imbalanced if we do not speak up, if we suppress the truth, if we lie a lot. And when that happens, then one is likely to develop any of these problems like thyroid diseases, parathyroid diseases, diseases of the tongue, cancer of the throat, laryngitis, pharyngitis, etc. So anyone having these type of issues, if they meditate, it would help them. The mantra is hum. Again, notice that the M part has been prolonged. Now we come to the Agya or Pro chakra, which is in the center of the forehead between the two eyes. This has two petals, and these two petals indicate Atma and Paramatma, because this is the point where they merge together. So this is the border of a human and the divine consciousness. The two petals also indicate Ida and Pingla, which are two main nadis in yoga related to our sensations and to the motor functions. Also, this is also known as Triveni. By Triveni here, what we mean is that this is the point where the Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna. Now, Sushumna Nadi is something which is dominant in all of us. It runs from the base of the spine, that is from the Muladhara chakra, right up to the Sahasrara, right up to the Agya chakra. So this gets awakened when this particular chakra also wakens up. Now, what we are talking about right now is that you would have heard of the Kundalini Shakti in yoga. This may be a little complicated, but I'll just sort of gloss over it. The Kundalini Shakti is the point where the Pran Shakti lies dormant, which is in the area of the Muladhara and the Swadhisthana chakras, and that is the seat of our consciousness. This consciousness must rise, come up through the Agya chakra and go to the topmost chakra. So the Sushumna Nadi is related to that particular rise in consciousness. This area, this chakra is also known as the third eye, as Tisra Til. So you'd have heard of these terms. Another term given to this is the Daswa Dwar. Now when we talk of the Daswa Dwar, what we mean is that our body has 10 openings. 9 are related to physical functions like the two eyes, the mouth, the two ears, and the excretory system and all that. But this particular chakra opens to the inside, unlike the other openings which open to the outside. And when it opens to the inside, this is the only place from where your Atma becomes visible to you. So that is why it has all these various names. It is related to the pineal gland, which in turn is a part of the brain and is related to both spirituality and production of what is known as melatonin, which has many functions in our body. It is also related to our nervous system by virtue of its being in this area. So when this chakra is normally closed, if you can get it opened, and the opening takes place through two routes. One, through the rising of the Kundalini Shakti. For that, you need a guide, and it can go out of hand also at times. But suns open it through the direct vibration and open it directly, not going through the chakras. So when the Atma is visible to you, only then can it move further for its further progress. So when this chakra is in balance, then you may be spiritual. Also, your nervous system should function well. If it is an imbalance, then you could have nervous system issues, repeated headaches, and all that. So, if you have any of those things or you want to progress spiritually, if you meditate on this chakra, then it is going to help you. And the mantra for this is Sham. And this is dark blue in color. Now, coming to the last one, known as the Sahasrara chakra. This is the top of the head. It is not part of the actual body, but top of the head, 2 fingers breadth above. It has 1,000 petals, and all of these open downwards, unlike the other chakras which open upwards. So the 1,000 petals indicate a number of things. One, the, the 1,000 alphabets of the Sanskrit language. Sanskrit language actually originated from here. This is also known as Brahmarandra, which in Sanskrit means gateway to Brahm. So when your consciousness rises up to this level, only after that can you further progress towards Brahm. Also, this is the storehouse of it is the bank balance of all our karmas. So whatever is going to happen to us in next birth or what has happened in the past is all stored in this chakra. So it is purple in color, which we can also say it is violet. The Kundalini ends at this point, and this is related to the primordial sound which I talked about earlier, that is the Om sound, which is what it is deeply related to. So now, after this, I think this is something about Om, which I think we can skip at the moment. Now, just for you to remember, there's a mnemonic by which you can remember the names of these chakras. Now, you know of this Vibgyor, which at least I remember in my days when I was learning in school, that we were taught this mnemonic to remember different colors, the colors of the spectrum. The same thing applies here. V stands for violet, which is the Sahasrara chakra. I stands for indigo, that is the deep blue, dark blue color, which is for the Agya chakra. Blue, that is light blue, for the throat chakra. G, green for the Anahat chakra. Y, yellow for the Manipur chakra. O, orange for the Swadhisthana chakra. And R, red for the Muladhara chakra. So I hope with this background, we can now move forward with the meditation part. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And I would request that if you all can keep your audios on, that would be very helpful, because when we are meditating, we will all be meditating together. Then the sound of the mantras will get potentiated for all of us. Okay. And if you can keep your videos on, that would be very nice, but we will not insist on that. So I'm stopping sharing and we will start a meditation now. I'll take off my spectacles. So close your eyes, sit in a comfortable position. If it is a Gyan Mudra, then it will be, I'm sorry, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
Dr. Kohli. Yes.
Okay. So shall we start now?
Yes.
You should sit with your spine straight, eyes gently closed, like we say, कोमलता से बंद करें. I'll be doing this in Hindi for the very simple reason that I think the Hindi and the Sanskrit words, you know, also convey a lot of feeling in them, which unlike the English language. So we'll start. We'll first start from the Mooladhara Chakra. जैसा आपको मालूम है, मूलाधार चक्र हमारी रीढ़ के बिल्कुल निचले हिस्से पर स्थित होता है। इसकी 4 पंखुड़ी होती हैं और लाल रंग होता है। अपने नेत्रों को कोमलता से बंद रखें। इसी चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान को केंद्रित करें। जैसा बताया, इसकी 4 पंखुड़ी मन, बुद्धि, चित्त, अहंकार इंडिकेट करती हैं। यह पृथ्वी तत्व से रिलेटेड होता है। जिस पृथ्वी तत्व से रिलेटेड होने की वजह से ये हमारे शरीर के जितने भी सॉलिड स्ट्रक्चर हैं, जैसे कि हड्डियां हैं, मांसपेशियां हैं, लिगामेंट्स हैं, टेंडन्स हैं, त्वचा है, बाल हैं, दांत हैं, इन सबको प्रभावित करता है। हमारे अंदर सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी लाता है, क्योंकि जब ये चक्र इम्बैलेंस में जाता है, हमारे अंदर इनसिक्योरिटी आती है। हमारे अंदर हम इम्बैलेंस्ड हो जाते हैं। अत्यंत भय की भावना भी जागृत हो सकती है। भय जो कि इस पूरी ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए भी हो सकती है। हमें ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस, ऑस्टियोपीनिया, रिकेट्स इत्यादि तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकती हैं। त्वचा की प्रॉब्लम हो सकती हैं, जैसा पहले की हमने डिस्कस किया था। ये हमारे सेंस ऑफ स्मेल को भी प्रभावित करता है। जब ये चक्र इम्बैलेंस में होता है तो हमें स्मेल की प्रॉब्लम भी हो सकती है। इसका रंग है लाल और इसका मंत्र है लम। हम सब मिलके 5 बार इसके ऊपर ध्यान करेंगे। हर बार जब हम गहरा और लंबा सांस भरें, हम इस चक्र की 5 पंखुड़ी और लाल रंग के ऊपर ध्यान को केंद्रित रखें। महसूस करें, विजुलाइज करें कि पृथ्वी से लाल रंग का प्रकाश हमारे पैरों से होता हुआ इस चक्र में प्रवेश कर रहा है। जब हम सांस बाहर निकालें, लम मंत्र का उच्चारण करें, ठीक उसी तरह से जैसे ओम का करते हैं। पहला भाग जोर से बोलें, मध्य भाग जितना ज़्यादा खींच सकें खींचें, और तीसरा और अंतिम भाग मन ही मन करें। विजुलाइज करें कि इस चक्र से लाल रंग निकलता हुआ हमारे शरीर से होता हुआ हमारी ऑरा में प्रवेश कर रहा है और ऑरा को प्योरीफाई कर रहा है। सब मिलके साथ करें। लंबा और गहरा सांस भरें और आरंभ करें। लम 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 शांत बैठें। इसके प्रभाव को मन ही मन महसूस करें। महसूस करें कि आपके अंदर सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी जागृत हुई है। साथ ही साथ जो सब स्ट्रक्चर जो पृथ्वी तत्व से प्रभावित होते हैं वे प्रभावित हुए हैं और आपका मन शांत हुआ है। अब करेंगे स्वादिष्ठान चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान। यह चक्र हमारे मूलाधार चक्र के ऊपर होता है। 6 पंखुड़ी होती हैं और नारंगी रंग होता है। इसका नारंगी रंग दर्शाता है राइजिंग कॉन्शियसनेस। उसी प्रकार जैसे सूरज जब सुबह उगता है, उस समय जो प्रकाश आकाश में होता है, उस प्रकाश से ही, सूरज के जागृत होने की वजह से पूरा संसार जागना शुरू करता है। उसी प्रकार ये हमारी कॉन्शियसनेस को जागृत करता है जब हम इस चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान करते हैं। जैसा आपको बताया था, कुंडलिनी शक्ति मूलाधार और स्वादिष्ठान चक्र के एरिया में होती है। जब हम मेडिटेट करना शुरू करते हैं इस पर, कुंडलिनी शक्ति का जागरण भी शुरू होता है। ये जल तत्व से प्रभावित होता है। जल तत्व से प्रभावित होने की वजह से जल संबंधित सब क्रियाएं हमारे शरीर में से प्रभावित होती हैं। रक्त, यूरिन, सेरेब्रोस्पाइनल फ्लूइड इत्यादि। और जैसे आपको बताया था, जब जल शांत रूप से फ्लो करता रहता है तो उससे उसी प्रकार हमारे शरीर की सब फ्लूइड जब शांत रूप से फ्लो करती हैं तो हमारे सब ऑर्गन सुचारू रूप से कार्य करते हैं। परंतु जैसे ही नदी में बाढ़ आ जाती है, सब चीज तहस नहस हो जाती है, उसी प्रकार जब यह चक्र इम्बैलेंस में जाता है तो हमारी सब फ्लूइड्स ठीक से कार्य नहीं कर पाती। हमारे अंदर नेगेटिविटी की भावनाएं पैदा होती हैं। जैसा बताया था आपको, इसके 6 पंखुड़ी दर्शाती हैं: काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मद, मत्सर्य। जब ये जागृत हो जाता है चक्र, तो हम इससे, इन सब नेगेटिव ट्रेट से आगे बढ़ते हैं। ये चक्र हमारे यूट्रस, ओवरीज, ब्लैडर, प्रोस्टेट को भी प्रभावित करता है। अगर कोई यूट्राइन प्रॉब्लम है, मेंस्ट्रुअल प्रॉब्लम है, ओवेरियन प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, प्रोस्टेटिक प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, या हमारे अंदर नेगेटिविटी बहुत ज़्यादा है, इस पर ध्यान करेंगे तो हमें लाभ मिलेगा। इसका मंत्र होता है वाम। ये हमारे सेंस ऑफ टेस्ट को भी प्रभावित करता है। अपनी आंखें कोमलता से बंद रखते हुए इस चक्र की 6 पंखुड़ियों के ऊपर ध्यान रखते हुए वम मंत्र का उच्चारण करेंगे। ठीक उसी तरह से जैसे ओम का करते हैं। पहला भाग जोर से बोलेंगे, मध्य भाग जितना ज़्यादा खींच सकेंगे खींचेंगे, और तीसरा भाग मन ही मन करेंगे। सब साथ मिलके करें, प्रारंभ करें। वम 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 शांत बैठें। विजुलाइज करें कि आपके अंदर के शरीर की सब जल संबंधित क्रियाएं प्रभाव में आई हैं। आपके यूट्रस, ओवरीज, प्रोस्टेट, इन सब के ऊपर अच्छा प्रभाव पड़ा है। आपके अंदर पॉजिटिव भावनाएं जागृत हुई हैं। आपकी ऑरा प्योरीफाई हुई है, क्योंकि जब आपने सांस भरी थी तो आपके अंदर यही प्रकाश अंदर प्रवेश किया था। जब आपने सांस बाहर निकाली थी तो यही प्रकाश, यही रंग आपके ऑरा में प्रवेश करके ऑरा को प्योरीफाई कर रहा था। शांत बैठ के इस सबको महसूस करें। अब करेंगे मणिपुर चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान। जैसा बताया, मणिपुर चक्र हमारी नाभि यानी अम्बलाइकस के पीछे रीढ़ के ऊपर स्थित होता है। इसकी 10 पंखुड़ी होती हैं और पीला रंग होता है। इसकी 10 पंखुड़ी दर्शाती हैं हमारे 10 प्राण, जिनमें 5 मुख्य प्राण होते हैं, 5 उप प्राण होते हैं। मुख्य प्राणों में समान, प्राण, उदान, व्यान, ये मुख्य होते हैं जिनमें समान विशेष रूप से इस चक्र से प्रभावित होती है। समान प्राण का मुख्य कार्य होता है डाइजेशन। जो भी हम देखते हैं, सुनते हैं, खाते हैं, पीते हैं, समझते हैं, सोचते हैं, इस सब का प्रॉपर डाइजेशन अनिवार्य है। अब्जॉर्प्शन, असिमिलेशन सब अनिवार्य है। अगर ऐसा नहीं हो पाता है तो फिर हमारे अंदर आम जमा हो जाता है। मेंटल आर्म भी हो सकता है, ऑर्गन्स में आर्म भी जमा हो सकता है। इसीलिए चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान करने से आपको लाभ मिलता है। ये चक्र हमारी सेंस ऑफ साइट को प्रभावित करता है। आमाशय यानी स्टमक, लिवर, पैंक्रियास, स्प्लीन, ये सब इससे प्रभावित होते हैं। जब ये चक्र इम्बैलेंस में जाता है, इन सब सिस्टम में बीमारियां पैदा हो सकती हैं। पेप्टिक अल्सर, हाइपर एसिडिटी, हेपेटाइटिस, जॉन्डिस, डायबिटीज इत्यादि। साथ ही साथ हम ओवर अग्रेसिव हो सकते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा आ सकता है। जिसे इस तरह की प्रॉब्लम हो, इस पर ध्यान करेंगे तो लाभ मिलेगा। जैसा बताया, इसकी 10 पंखुड़ी होती हैं, पीला रंग होता है और इसका मंत्र होता है रम। हम सब 5 बार इसके ऊपर ध्यान करेंगे। हर बार जब गहरा और लंबा सांस भरें, विजुलाइज करें कि पृथ्वी से, पैरों से होता हुआ इसमें पीले रंग का प्रकाश प्रवेश कर रहा है। जब सांस बाहर निकालें, रम मंत्र का उच्चारण करें, उसी तरह से जैसे ओम का करते हैं। पहला भाग जितना ज़्यादा खींच सकें खींचें, सॉरी, जितना ज़ोर से बोल सकें बोलें। मध्य भाग जितना ज़्यादा खींच सकें खींचें, और तीसरा और अंतिम भाग मन ही मन करें। विजुलाइज करें कि पीले रंग का प्रकाश इस चक्र से निकलता हुआ, हमारे शरीर से होता हुआ, हमें ऑरा में प्रवेश कर रहा है, ऑरा को प्योरीफाई कर रहा है। जो भी बीमारी होती है सबसे पहले हमारी ऑरा में आती है, उसके बाद हमारे शरीर में आती है। तो जब हम ये विजुलाइज करते हैं कि ऑरा प्योरीफाई हो रही है, तो फिर वो पहले ही से वो बीमारी का एक तरह से शुरुआत ही नहीं हो पाती। सब साथ मिलके करें, लंबा और गहरा सांस भरें और आरंभ करें। रम 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 शांत बैठे। इस चक्र की 10 पंखुड़ी और पीले रंग के ऊपर ध्यान को केंद्रित ही रखें। जो आपको अंदर से जो महसूस हो रहा है उसको फील करें। आपके डाइजेशन के ऊपर अच्छा प्रभाव पड़ा है। आपका क्रोध नियंत्रण में आया है। साथ ही साथ आपकी ऑरा प्योरीफाई हुई है और आपका मन शांत हुआ है। अब आप नोटिस करेंगे कि धीरे धीरे आपकी सांस की गति घटती जा रही है और मन और शांत होता जा रहा है। अब करेंगे अनाहत चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान। अनाहत चक्र हमारे हृदय के पीछे रीढ़ पर स्थित होता है। 12 पंखुड़ी होती हैं और हरा रंग होता है। इसकी 12 पंखुड़ी दर्शाती हैं प्रेम, काइंडनेस, कंपैशन, एम्पैथी, फॉरगिवनेस, क्लैरिटी, प्योरिटी, यानी कि हमारे सब पॉजिटिव इमोशंस, पॉजिटिव फीलिंग्स। यह चक्र वायु तत्व से प्रभावित होता है। तो जिस प्रकार वायु जब मंद मंद फ्लो करती है तो उसके स्पर्श से हमें कितना आनंद मिलता है। यह चक्र हमारे सेंस ऑफ टच को भी प्रभावित करता है। परंतु वही हवा जब बहुत तेज हो जाती है, आंधी का रूप ले लेती है, तो सब चीज तहस नहस हो जाती है। उसी प्रकार जब यह चक्र बैलेंस में होता है तो हमारी सब फीलिंग्स बैलेंस में रहती हैं, हम प्रसन्न रहते हैं। परंतु जब ये इम्बैलेंस में जाता है, हमारे अंदर नेगेटिविटी आ जाती है, हम डिप्रेस भी हो सकते हैं, लोनली भी फील कर सकते हैं। यह चक्र क्योंकि हृदय के एरिया में स्थित है, उससे हमारे हृदय की पंपिंग, हृदय की गति, नाड़ियों का फ्लो, फेफड़ों का एक्शन और हमारे इम्यून सिस्टम के ऊपर अच्छा प्रभाव पड़ता है। इसीलिए कहते हैं जितना हम खुश रह सकते हैं, प्रसन्न रह सकते हैं, उतना अच्छा हमारा इम्यून सिस्टम कार्य करता है। जिस किसी को हृदय रोग हो, लंग्स की प्रॉब्लम हो, रिपीटेड इन्फेक्शन होते हो, नेगेटिविटी बहुत ज़्यादा अंदर हो, तो इसके ऊपर ध्यान करेंगे तो उन्हें लाभ मिलेगा। जैसा बताया, इसकी 12 पंखुड़ी होती हैं, हरा रंग होता है और इसका मंत्र होता है यम। इस पर भी 5 बार ध्यान करेंगे। हर बार जब हम गहरा और लंबा सांस भरेंगे, विजुलाइज करेंगे कि सामने से हरे रंग का प्रकाश इसमें प्रवेश कर रहा है। जब हम सांस बाहर निकालेंगे, यम मंत्र का उच्चारण करेंगे उसी तरह से जैसे ओम का करते हैं, और विजुलाइज करेंगे कि हरे रंग का प्रकाश इस चक्र से निकलता हुआ हमारी ऑरा में प्रवेश कर रहा है और ऑरा को प्योरीफाई कर रहा है। हम सब मिलके साथ करें, लंबा और गहरा सांस भरें और आरंभ करें। यम 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 शांत बैठें, इसके ऊपर फोकस करें, महसूस करें कि आपके अंदर प्रसन्नता जागृत हुई है, आपके अंदर प्रेम भावना जागृत हुई है। प्रेम अपने लिए, औरों के लिए, पूरे संसार के लिए। साथ ही साथ आपका मन शांत हुआ है, आपकी सांस की गति और घटी है। सांस की गति जितना ज़्यादा कम होती है, उतना ज़्यादा हमारा मन शांत होता है। हमारी सांसों के और मन के बीच में बहुत अच्छी रिलेशनशिप है। इस सबको महसूस करें। अब हम सब मिलके विशुद्धि चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान करेंगे। विशुद्धि चक्र हमारे गले के पीछे की ओर होता है। इसकी 16 पंखुड़ी होती हैं। 16 पंखुड़ी दर्शाती हैं हमारी इन्फिनिट पोटेंशियलिटीज और साथ ही साथ संस्कृत लैंग्वेज के 16 वावल्स। यह आकाश तत्व से प्रभावित होता है। आकाश तत्व से प्रभावित होने की वजह से इसका सच से बहुत गहरा संबंध है। ये हमारे सेंस ऑफ साउंड को भी प्रभावित करता है, यानी हमारे कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, हमारे सेंस ऑफ हियरिंग। यह चक्र हमारे थायराइड को, पैराथायराइड ग्लैंड को, जबान को, लेयरिंग्स को, फेयरिंग्स को, इन सबको प्रभाव में लाता है। जब ये बैलेंस में होता है, ये सब सुचारू रूप से कार्य करते हैं। परंतु जब ये इम्बैलेंस में जाता है, इन सब में बीमारियां पैदा हो जाती हैं। इम्बैलेंस में तब जाता है जब हमारा कम्युनिकेशन अफेक्टेड होता है। वो तब होता है जब हम झूठ बोलते हैं, अपना सच नहीं कह पाते, सच को सप्रेस कर देते हैं। जब ऐसा होता है तो जबान का कैंसर हो सकता है, लेरेंजाइटिस, फेरेंजाइटिस, थायराइड और पैराथायराइड प्रॉब्लम्स। जिस किसी को इस तरह की कोई प्रॉब्लम हो, इस पर ध्यान करेंगे तो उन्हें लाभ मिलेगा। जैसा बताया, इसकी 16 पंखुड़ी होती हैं, आसमानी रंग होता है और मंत्र होता है हम। इसके ऊपर भी 5 बार ध्यान करेंगे। हर बार जब गहरा और लंबा सांस भरें, इस चक्र की 16 पंखुड़ी आसमानी रंग के ऊपर ध्यान को केंद्रित करें। विजुलाइज करें कि आसमानी रंग का प्रकाश सामने से आपके अंदर प्रवेश कर रहा है, इस चक्र में प्रवेश कर रहा है। जब सांस बाहर निकालें, हम मंत्र का उच्चारण करें उसी तरह से जैसे ओम का करते हैं। पहला भाग जोर से बोलें, मध्य भाग जितना ज़्यादा खींच सकें खींचें, और तीसरा और अंतिम भाग मन ही मन करें। शुरू करें, 5 बार ध्यान करेंगे। लंबा और गहरा सांस भरें और आरंभ करें। हम 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 शांत बैठें, इस चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान केंद्रित रखें। महसूस करें कि आप सच की ओर अग्रसर हुए हैं। आपका मन शांत हुआ है। कुछ क्षण इसी अवस्था में बैठें। आपकी सांस की गति और घटती जा रही है। हो सकता है आप में से कुछ को आपकी उंगलियां या हाथ, हो सकता है पैर भी थोड़े नम हो रहे हों, हो सकता है थोड़ी टिंगलिंग हो रही हो। ये सब एडवांस्ड मेडिटेशन के साइंस हैं। आपके अंदर जो शांति जागृत हुई है, उसको महसूस करें। अब करेंगे आज्ञा चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान। जैसा बताया, आज्ञा चक्र हमारे माथे के बीच में दोनों नेत्रों के मध्य में होता है। इसकी 2 पंखुड़ी होती हैं, गहरा नीला रंग होता है। इसकी 2 पंखुड़ी दर्शाती हैं आत्मा और परमात्मा, जिनका मिलन यहीं से आरंभ होता है। इड़ा और पिंगला भी दर्शाती हैं इसकी 2 पंखुड़ी। इसको थर्ड आई, तीसरा नेत्र, शिव नेत्र, तीसरा दिल भी कहते हैं, तीसरा तिल। इसे त्रिवेणी भी कहते हैं, जिसका रीजन मैंने बताया था। इडा, पिंगला, सुषुम्ना तीनों यहीं पर आके मिलती हैं। इसको 10वां द्वार भी कहते हैं, क्योंकि ये अंदर की ओर खुलता है। हमारे बाकी जो 9 द्वार हैं शरीर में, दोनों नेत्र, मुख, दोनों कान, एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम एक्सेट्रा, ये सब बाहर की ओर खुलते हैं, जो कि हमारे शरीर के लिए होते हैं। आज्ञा चक्र हमारे सेल्फ के लिए, हमारी आत्मा के लिए होता है। ये भी मान्यता है जब ये चक्र जागृत होता है तो हम आगे तो बढ़ते ही हैं स्पिरिचुअली, साथ ही साथ सच चित आनंद, इन तीनों का आपने सुना होगा नाम। ये तीनों की शुरुआत यहीं से होती है। जब ये चक्र जागृत होता है, कुछ लोगों में क्लेयरवॉयंस, क्लेयर ऑडियंस इत्यादि भी जागृत हो जाता है, आगे का प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उस पर हमें ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं देना है। ये हमारे पीनल ग्लैंड से प्रभावित होता है या करता है उसको, जिसकी वजह से हम अध्यात्म की ओर बढ़ते हैं। साथ ही साथ मेलेटोनिन प्रोड्यूस करता है। हमारे नर्वस सिस्टम से इसका संबंध है, और यह बॉर्डर है ह्यूमन कॉन्शियसनेस और डिवाइन कॉन्शियसनेस के बीच का। इसकी दो पंखुड़ी होती हैं। इसका मंत्र होता है शम। अगर आप अध्यात्म की ओर बढ़ना चाहते हैं या आपके अंदर कोई नर्वस सिस्टम की बीमारियां हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा हेडेक्स होते हैं, इस पर आप ध्यान करेंगे तो आपको लाभ मिलेगा, शांति के साथ और लाभ भी मिलेंगे आपको। सब मिलके करेंगे। 5 बार लंबा और गहरा सांस भरें और शम मंत्र का उच्चारण करेंगे। जब लंबा सांस भरेंगे, विजुलाइज करेंगे कि सामने से गहरे नीले रंग का प्रकाश इसमें प्रवेश कर रहा है। जब सांस बाहर निकालेंगे, शम मंत्र का उच्चारण करेंगे उसी तरह से जैसे ओम का करते हैं। पहला भाग जोर से बोलेंगे, मध्य भाग जितना ज़्यादा खींच सकेंगे खींचेंगे, और तीसरा और अंतिम भाग मन ही मन करेंगे। विजुलाइज करेंगे कि गहरा नीला रंग इस चक्र से निकलता हुआ हमारी ऑरा में प्रवेश कर रहा है, ऑरा को प्योरीफाई कर रहा है। लंबा और गहरा सांस भरें और आरंभ करें। शम 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 शांत बैठें। इस चक्र की दो पंखुड़ी गहरे नीले रंग के ऊपर ध्यान को केंद्रित करें। महसूस करें कि आपकी कॉन्शियसनेस अब जागृत होने लगी है। आपका मन शांत हो रहा है, और ज़्यादा शांत हुआ है। सांस की गति और घटी है। हो सकता है आपको सच्चित आनंद का आभास भी हुआ हो। अब हम आखिरी चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान करेंगे, सहस्रार चक्र। जैसा बताया, इसकी 1000 पंखुड़ी होती हैं। यह नीचे की ओर खुलता है। इसका बैगनी यानी कि पर्पल कलर होता है। इसकी 1000 पंखुड़ी दर्शाती हैं संस्कृत लैंग्वेज के 1000 अल्फ़ाबेट्स। इसको ब्रह्मरांध्र भी कहते हैं, क्योंकि जब कॉन्शियसनेस यहाँ तक पहुँचती है तो इट बिकम्स द गेटवे टू ब्रह्म। हमारा कार्मिक बैंक बैलेंस यहीं पर जमा होता है, जिससे पिछले जन्म जो हुए हैं, जो आगे होने हैं, सबका यहीं से नियंत्रण होता है। जब ये चक्र इम्बैलेंस में जाता है हमें पूरे शरीर में दिक्कतें हो सकती हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा कमज़ोरी हो सकती है। ये फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया, क्रॉनिक फटीग सिंड्रोम का भी कारण हो सकता है। इस चक्र का मंत्र है ओम, जिसकी बहुत ज़्यादा सिग्निफिकेंस है। ओम दर्शाता है क्रिएशन, प्रिजर्वेशन एंड डिसोल्यूशन, यानी कि उत्पत्ति, स्थिति और प्रलय। आपने प्रलय का नाम सुना होगा। प्रलय, यहाँ पर तात्पर्य ये है कि जैसे प्रलय होती है बाहर की ओर, वो सब ये दर्शाता है ओम मंत्र। ओम एक्चुअली अ उ म, तीन पार्ट इसके होते हैं, ए यू एम। ए दर्शाता है क्रिएशन, यू दर्शाता है प्रिजर्वेशन एंड म दर्शाता है प्रलय। यह म हमारे जागी हुई स्थिति, सोई हुई और डीप स्लीप वाली स्थितियों को भी दर्शाता है। इसीलिए जब इस चक्र को हम ध्यान देते हैं, जब इसको चांट करते हैं, पहला भाग हम जोर से बोलते हैं जो दर्शाता है क्रिएशन। मध्य भाग हम जितना ज़्यादा खींच सकते हैं खींचते हैं, जो दर्शाता है स्थिति। और तीसरा भाग मन ही मन करते हैं। तो इस चक्र का मंत्र है ओम। और इसको चांट करने के लिए हमें इन तीनों पार्ट्स को अ उ म तीनों ही इसमें निहित होने चाहिए। जो भी आगे स्पिरिचुअलिटी में बढ़ना चाहते हैं, जिनको बहुत ज़्यादा वीकनेस, फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया, इस तरह की कोई दिक्कतें होती हों, इस चक्र पर ध्यान करेंगे तो उन्हें लाभ मिलेगा। बाकी सब चक्रों की तरह इस चक्र के ऊपर भी हम 5 बार ध्यान करेंगे। हर बार जब हम गहरा और लंबा सांस भरेंगे, इस चक्र की 1000 पंखुड़ी और बैगनी रंग के ऊपर अपने ध्यान को केंद्रित करेंगे। विजुलाइज करेंगे सामने से बैगनी रंग का प्रकाश इसमें प्रवेश कर रहा है। जब सांस बाहर निकालेंगे, ओम मंत्र का उच्चारण करेंगे और विजुलाइज करेंगे कि बैंगनी रंग का प्रकाश इस चक्र से निकलता हुआ हमारी ऑरा में पहुंच के ऑरा को प्योरीफाई कर रहा है। सब साथ करें, लंबा और गहरा सांस भरें और आरंभ करें। शांत बैठें, महसूस करें इसके प्रभाव को, जो आपके अंदर शांति आई है और बढ़ी है, सांस की गति और घटी है। कुछ क्षण आंखें बंद ही रखें। जब कभी भी आप खुद इन चक्रों पर ध्यान करें, इसमें दो दो चीज़ें आप कर सकते हैं। जिन्हें कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, फिजिकल मेंटल प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वे बस मेंटेनेंस के लिए सब चक्रों के ऊपर रोज़ ध्यान कर सकते हैं। जिनको किसी तरह की कोई प्रॉब्लम है, वे उस पर्टिकुलर चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान करें। साथ ही साथ अनाहत चक्र के ऊपर और आज्ञा चक्र के ऊपर, सहस्रार पर भी कर सकते हैं। जब आप किसी बीमारी के लिए या किसी प्रॉब्लम के लिए चक्र के ऊपर ध्यान करें, तो कोशिश करें 10 से 20 बार उसको करें। और सिर्फ जो मेंटेनेंस के लिए करें, जो ऑलरेडी इवॉल्व्ड हैं, जिन्हें कोई दिक्कतें नहीं हैं, वे सब चक्रों पे 5-5 बार ध्यान कर सकते हैं। अगर कोई भी सवाल हो I'll be very happy to answer them. धीरे धीरे अपनी आंखें खोलें, दोनों हाथों को जोड़ें, परमपिता परमेश्वर जी का धन्यवाद करें।
Thank you, Dr. Kohli. We're now open for questions. If anybody wants to ask the question, you can raise your hand or type it in the chat box here. Shubhangi, yes, please.
अनम्यूट कर सकती हूँ मैं?
Yeah, you are unmute.
ओके, ओके।
Yeah, please go on. Yeah.
जैसे ही हम लोग हार्ट चक्र पे आए थे, जैसे ही मैंने यम बोलना स्टार्ट करा, मैं एकदम से डर गई बहुत ज़्यादा और उसके बाद से कॉन्संट्रेट ही नहीं कर पाई, बाकी सभी चक्रास पर भी।
अच्छा, वो उसका रीज़न ये है कि जो दैट मीन्स आपके अंदर डर की भावना काफ़ी ज़्यादा जागृत है. सो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट विद द मूलाधार चक्र मोर, meditate more on that chakra. Of course, there are many other things you can do, but apart from that, meditating on the Mooladhara chakra and also visualizing that your fear is going away. So, if you meditate more on that chakra, gradually your fear will go away.
थैंक यू।
You're welcome.
Would anybody else like to ask a question or share their experience from the session?
I have a question.
Sure.
Uh, One is, should this be incorporated in everyday practice? And second, what is the correct time to do it? Whether it should be done in the morning or आज हमने जैसे किया है at this hour.
See, the correct thing for any meditation, the correct time for any meditation is in the morning. As
Right.
we have in Ayurveda, we say Brahma Muhurt.
Right.
Brahma Muhurt is actually ideally the period about an hour and a half before the sun rises. That is ideal. But if you can't do that at that particular time, then try to do it in the morning. And as answering your first part of your question, if you can make it part of your daily practice, then that is wonderful
Right.
because you will get a sense of balance, sense of happiness, sense of peace, which will pervade for a very long time in the day. And morning, the reason why we do all that is in the morning, because the whole world is getting up. Birds, you can hear birds chirping if you're fortunate. If
Right.
you look at the sky, you find that that the sun is waking up. So everything is waking up, and that is conducive. It acts at a subconscious level of ours and helps us in our awakening. When we talk of waking up, as far as we are concerned, we are talking of spiritual awakening.
Yes.
Of course, morning when you're up, you've also woken up from your sleep. So the morning time is the best for this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Any observations?
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Feeling very, very calm and very light. So thank you.
I'm
It was
I'm happy
yes.
about that, and that is what you will if you keep doing it, persistently.
It's like a few kgs of some load has been lifted up. So it's really wonderful. Thank you so much. Very.
You're welcome.
It
That's
was.
a very nice way
But
of expressing yourself. Very nice. I just want to share that I've always believed in this, and I do it myself also.
Doctor, I have a question.
Sure.
Can I? I've heard that the vagus nerve is very powerful, and imbalances and issues with the vagus nerve can affect your digestive system, and just feeling relaxed in general, feeling tensed or anxious. So I've been trying to experiment with these chakra meditations myself. I do feel that when I do them myself, some days it's relaxing. Other days, I do feel some issues with my gut, or um, I even what I've heard from yogic science is if your vagus nerve is disturbed, you will constantly feel the need to pee and go to the washroom. And apparently, working on these chakras can help with that. So, if you can shed some light on that, and
Oh,
how.
yes, absolutely. The reason why chakra meditation is so effective for your vagus nerve is that all the mantras which you chant, you are prolonging the part of it. So when you do that, that is an extremely good practice for balancing your stimulating your vagus nerve. And this has been proved scientifically. Now, the other thing is that the vagus nerve, as you know, this is the longest nerve in the body. It starts from the lower part of the brain, and as it goes down, it supplies the entire face, all the organs present here. It supplies the neck, thyroid, parathyroid, everything there. It supplies the heart, the lungs, the thymus, everything in the chest cavity. It supplies the stomach. It supplies the liver, pancreas, spleen, and the intestines as well, right down to the rectum. And the best part of this nerve is that this has a to and fro communication. If one impulse from the brain travels down to these organs, nine impulses from these organs travel up. And we now know that more than 90% serotonin, which is something like a feel-good, hormone, is produced in the gut only.
Mhm.
So when your vagus nerve is in balance, everything gets stimulated. And this is just one way of stimulating the vagus nerve. There are many more methods.
Right. So,
Something also known as face yoga, which I generally teach people,
mhm.
that also stimulates your vagus nerve. Splashing cold water on your face stimulates your vagus nerve. Chanting the Om mantra alone, if you can't do all of these, just chanting the Om mantra for as long as you can
Mhm.
will bring a vagus nerve in balance. So when the vagus nerve is functioning well, you can see all the systems are functioning well. And also remember that you would have heard of the microbiome. We have a gut microbiome in the stomach area, and we also have an oral microbiome. In fact, the entire body has different bacteria on which the body functions. So the vagus nerve stimulates the gut microbiome also. The vagus nerve, if it is in balance, also helps in correcting your insulin resistance. So it is helpful in diabetes as well, in cardiac conditions as well. So all of these things it is helpful in. So when you're meditating on the chakras, especially when you meditate on the Manipur chakra, it stimulates your gut microbiome also. When you meditate on the throat chakra, it stimulates your oral microbiome also. So you're achieving so many things by doing this chakra meditation. And all of these things are now coming to the fore. So remember to prolong your part as much as you can. That is the most relaxing part, and that has been actually proved scientifically when they've studied the Om mantra. That this brings about changes in the brain waves as well. So this has been now scientifically proved. So you can very well resort to this and it will help you. But remember, chakra meditation alone may not be the answer. It has to be combined with whatever else is required for you. The very high spiritual meditations help you more than this also.
So, one more question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Doing practices like strong breath work, be it Wim Hof or Tumo breathing, would that disturb the vagus nerve, or because if done too much, it can cause issues also. I'm not too
See, one
sure.
is the Wim Hof method. I have never tried. I've heard a lot about it, but somehow intuitively, I personally feel it may not be a very good idea. This is my personal feeling, not based on any scientific facts.
Mhm,
Yes, breath work definitely is helpful, but if you overdo anything, that will
mhm,
be harmful. And the breath work, what you're taught in yoga, the breath work you're taught in yoga is a little different from what Western sciences tell us.
mhm,
In yoga, as far as breathing is concerned, the stress is always given on breathing out as much as you can
mhm,
and not so much on breathing in. Now, we are not taught in yoga to take in a deep breath and hold it as
mhm,
too long, unless you're doing the bunds. That is a different story altogether. But generally, whether it is anulom vilom or deep breathing and all that,
mhm,
the stress is on prolonging your expiration because when you do that, the
mhm.
relaxation response sets in, which is
Got
what you need. But when you take in a deep breath and
mhm,
hold it, then the response of aggression comes into you. That means to act, to do something, which is not what you want as far as yoga is concerned, because yoga is talking about mental relaxation. So the more you can prolong your expiration, the better it is going to be for you.
the way I was understanding was it activates your Mooladhara chakra when you hold in the breath, because you're stimulating it, and apparently there's a lotus over there, and it blossoms. You're forcing it to open up, and work through all your nadis when you do breath, hold breath for a prolonged time. But no, thank you for answering my question.
There are two things. There are two things there. I'll try to answer this as well. Now, when during yoga, also in pranayam, certain bandhs are described. Where the mool bandh, where you tighten the rectum. Then there's a Udyan bandh, and there's the other bandh, the Jalandhar bandh.
Mm,
These are described in yoga, but there are different techniques of doing them, very particular techniques. And your teacher teaches you the right technique so that you are not harmed out of them because of them. Because if you have a heart problem, if you have a lung problem, you have a backache and things like that, then we generally do not recommend these bandhs. So you have to be very careful about that. Now, we already talked about the Mooladhara chakra being like a petal. I mean, being like all of these chakras are lotuses basically.
mhm.
Okay. So you are achieving all of that by this. As I said, I have not practiced the Wim Hof method myself. So I really cannot tell you much from experience out of that. But remember one thing which I forgot to mention, that in yoga we are talking of only these seven chakras.
Mhm.
But the fact is that there are thousands, millions more chakras beyond that, which we
Right,
don't talk about,
right.
which people can't see also, unless and until you're very, very, very highly spiritually evolved. Even
Right.
these chakras you cannot see unless you're spiritually evolved.
Mhm.
So here we are trying to visualize them and then practice accordingly.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Uh, I have one more question.
Sure.
Whenever I practice meditation, like I've experienced this multiple times, I feel like my spirit is going somewhere, leaving my body, and I don't know, and I get scared, and I don't know, is it all because of my fears?
Obviously, fear component is there, but if you feel that your spirit is leaving you and going out, that is actually a very good thing. You should not worry about that.
Okay.
What you need is you need more guidance as to how to meditate and to let that happen. I mean, that is what we want, actually speaking.
Okay.
That's the purpose of real spiritual meditation. So that means you need a proper spiritual teacher to guide you further, how to go ahead on that. So don't worry about that.
Okay.
Nothing's going to happen to you. In fact, you're going to feel even better. Advanced meditators feel it every time they meditate.
Okay.
It's a very common phenomenon and experience with them.
Like in past months, I have gone beyond that too. Like I felt like I'm in somewhere in universe, as in like, but I have experienced it just for twice or thrice.
So, as I said, you need more guidance. And
Hmm.
my suggestion would be that discuss this only with the person who teaches you all these things, not with everybody else. Because
Okay.
you're not supposed to share your inner experiences with anybody except for your
Okay.
teacher.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Shubhangi. And Dhruv, thank you for your question. We also have a series of videos on our YouTube channel by Dr. Kohli, where he talks about, where he basically shares a practice of face yoga for vagus nerve stimulation. So I'll share those links in the group after the session. Anybody else who wants to share their experience or ask a question?
If there are any more, you can always get in touch with us. And
Right.
personally speaking, I'll be very happy to answer them.
I'd like to thank you for an excellent session.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. I think it is all because all of you participated, and I think you gave your heart into it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Dr. Bankul, would you like to say something before we close the session?
I think thank you so much to everyone for joining, and thank you, Dr. Kohli. I mean, we are all blessed to have you, sir, as a part of our clinic, and I think all of us can feel how Sthita Pragya sir is, and that's what guides all of us. And we all aspire to evolve constantly and learn from him. And spiritual journey is a long journey, and we are all learning. So I hope all of you have been inspired. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mankul, for those kind words, but though I don't think I deserve all that. But it's very nice of you to say.
Thank you, Dr. Kohli, for guiding us through today's session. And thank you, everyone here, for taking the time to join us this week. If you want to share your reflections or have any more questions, please feel free to share them in the group. We can continue chatting there. And we look forward to seeing you again this month on the 13th of January for week 7 of the Inner Healing Collective. Until then, take care of yourselves.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you, everyone.